Hi, in this video, I'll walk you across a feature that allows you to view and filter your executions through input sets. And I'll also be talking about another feature which actually helps you to get the pipeline template version for the executions. So let's get started. As you can see, we have a pipeline here, and then if I click on run and try to execute this pipeline, we get an option to select input set or input sets. Over here, you can see that we have already added a bunch of input sets that we can use to execute this pipeline. But before that, input sets are actually collections of runtime input values for a pipeline that can be leveraged to reuse a single pipeline for multiple scenarios. So basically, you can use the same pipeline and have different combinations of input sets or input values, and then you can actually produce the desired case or scenario that you like. So let's say in this case I would like to go with input 4 and input set 2. Looks good. Now we are ready to run the pipeline. So I'll click on run, and while the pipeline is running, I would like to show you that if we click here on the inputs tab under execution, then we'll be able to actually see what all input sets have been used for this particular execution. And that's also how we're gonna filter them. If I go to the execution history now, then you can see that we have a total of around 15 runs, and each of these runs, if you see over here, are done using different input set combinations, right? For example, this one is only using input set 4, but this one is using input set 4 plus 2 other input sets. So now we can actually click on add filter, go to input sets, and we can select the input sets that we need to filter through. So I'll click on input 2 and input 4. And then we can see that earlier we had 15 and now we had just 14 executions that are shown after applying this filter. Don't forget to save it. Click on save here, and I'll give it a name, input set 24. So, or input rather, I would give it input filter 24 and save. And perfect, we have it over here. And this is actually helping us to filter out the executions, which includes input sets 2 and 4 or either of them. So yeah, I think now you know how to basically create filters and filter your executions using the input set. So moving on to another really interesting feature, let's talk about the other feature that actually helps you get the pipeline template version for the executions. As you can see over here, we have a pipeline which is created using a template called Siddhant pipeline template. And we can also see that the version v2 is visible over here. Similarly, then we have a stage which is created using a stage template which is called Sid template, and the version for the same v1 is available here. Now this feature actually helps you to visualize these versions for the templates, and the same can also be seen during the execution, which we'll see in a while. Post that, moving on to this custom stage, which contains actually some step-based templates. Over here, you can see we have an approval step template, and when we click on it, we can see the template name, approval step template, and the version, thus visualizing the same. Then we have an echo step template, and for that as well, the version v2 is clearly visible. Now let's move to the execution and see it in action. When I click on run, okay, let's run the pipeline. Looks good. Let's wait. And yep, we can already see that even during the execution, the template versions and the template names are visible. And over here, we can see that even for the second stage, okay, it's asking for my approval. So I have to approve it. And all right, let's approve it. And we can see when we hover over it, we are still able to visualize the version of the template that's being used. And same goes for the echo step template as well. We're able to visualize the version, the status, and yep, it says this is printed from step template v2. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you liked the video.